Hello and welcome to Live Long and Prosper Recovery. We are talking all things Star Trek and a little bit of our recovery journey, maybe. I have the local expert here with me. My name is Carol and this is Steve.
Okay.
He'll show his face here in a second. Won't you, baby?
Yes.
There he is.
I'm wearing my persona increasing outfit.
So, we are currently watching Star Trek Discovery. I watched seasons 3 and 4. I tried to watch seasons 1 or 2 1 and 2 when it first came out, which season 2 is hello. But season 1, I couldn't get over what they were doing to the Klingons. I'm like, that's not a Klingon, that's some other alien.
They screwed them up, but after the second or third watching, I'm sort of seeing their angle.
Oh yeah. So I'm starting from the beginning, and we just started season 2, where Christopher Pike comes on the scene. Hello, Plant Freak. Hey, my other's keeper. Hey, Tony B. How are you guys? Good to see you. Be careful, my other's keeper. Be careful, Kim, driving. So yeah. Anyway, we were saying. So your take on the Klingons now that you're seeing it again?
Oh, I really don't like their new look, but it's not my show. I'm just watching it.
But by season 2, though, they start introducing Klingons as we know them.
A little bit. Supposedly they had been shaving their hair when the houses were divided.
Okay.
And during the war.
Yeah. So
I think like any civilization, they have a lot of variations that they've never addressed. The only ones that really addressed it were the Andorians in Enterprise when they had the Canari. Is that what they were called?
Inari.
Calamari. They were called Calamari.
Inari.
Inari, yeah. They were blind, and they were kind of like a secret, like is rumored to be a secret society on this planet of
but they could
people
see
we've never met
telepathically.
Yes, but they did share history with
the Andorians. Yeah, and they have the antennas like the Andorians, but they're kind of more whitish blue than blue like the Andorians.
Like the red-headed Japanese. I don't know what they're called, but
they have a name?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I don't know if they're the Aboriginal Japanese or just a certain group in Japan, but they have redder hair, and it's really cool.
Matrix Rabbit, yes, I am an avid Trekkie. It's definitely part of my recovery. It's my obsession. Since I tend to be an addictive personality and be obsessive, that's something that I can safely obsess about, all day long. We're watching Discovery right now while we're waiting for Strange New Worlds new season to come up in Paramount Plus.
Born in 1969, it would be odd if I wasn't somewhat of a Trekkie.
Yeah, I watched it when I was a kid, the original series. I had stopped watching TV altogether when the Next Generation came out, so I had to learn about all that, like after he and I got together.
I worked for a living, so I couldn't watch any kind of a series at any particular. I worked in restaurants and 1 or 2 jobs, and so I saw Next Gen after it had gone into reruns many times.
Yeah. We when we got together and when we were living together, basically married, and we started. Netflix used to carry Star Trek. I think that's right, isn't it?
Probably the first one.
Yeah. So we went through the Next Generation all together, streaming it, binge watching it. And then, of course, we watched Deep Space Nine after that.
Then we watched
Voyager.
And then I watched the
Enterprise.
YouTube, the fan films.
Yes. Yeah, that's a dedicated Trekkie right there. If he can watch the fan films, it's like Kentucky Fried Star Trek.
Star Trek continues, and the new voyages or next phase.
No, but I mean, you watched fan films.
Oh yeah, then I watched the the Helena Chronicles, which were made in like the late '90s tech video editing with blue screen, green screen with frame stills from pre-digital video captures. And they did excellent stories and the very best they could at that, talking a gigahertz PC with a gig or two of RAM maximum and whatever capture components they had at the time. I mean, they really did a great job.
Yeah. No, and the storylines are amazing.
Some of them haven't better. Like when they inducted the, what are those little silicone flat creatures that mined the planet? They were and one of those became a member of Starfleet. That was really cool.
Let me think.
They have a name like, what's his name? Combs. He played him on Deep Space Nine. What was their race's name?
Oh,
clone race.
The clone. Oh,
I'm terrible with
names.
Yeah.
Wayun was one of them. The Vorta.
But the Horta, which was in the original series, were those little silicone balls, and they ended up being eggs. And every 1,000 generations, they would die back to just one. Then they would burst forth again and I think it was the Helena Chronicles, a fan film, real fan film, and old, like late 90s, early 2000s. They used a Horta, right? Or Vorta. Vorta. And as a member of Starfleet, they beamed it onto the shields of a ship, and it was able to float down through there and then go into the ship. It was a really cool idea. I mean, the fact that they had to communicate by some sort of electronic means, but it was amazing. Great idea. I wish they'd have done that in the Next Gen or Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
It's total angle they wish they had have thought of.
Right on.
That those fan film geeks whipped ass. I mean,
they did. Then
the Romulan Wars was another fan film that really, it was made in anybody geeks we know, Wayne's World's basement, but it was pretty cool too.
Yeah,
for the concept and for the storylines. The special effects were borrowed from my junk pile, but everything else was cool.
Stasia has found a hot sauce that's literally making her sweat. Sweat.
Yeah. That's how hot I like it. But Carol, she don't like. She takes one drop of that and puts into 4 gallons of regular salsa. And then that's enough heat. That one bottle will last till 2065. So she'll be 100 when we run out.
The changelings or Odo's race.
Yeah, the changelings.
Yeah.
The strangelings. No, the changelings.
Oh, the Vorta. Okay, I'm with you now, Matrix Rabbit. The dudes with the white, can't remember their name. They work for the Odo
They had
race.
the ears.
There was the Vorta, and then their soldier, their strong arm was the Breen.
No, it wasn't the Breen.
Yes,
it was the
they
Dominion.
were. It was the dudes with the
Jem'Hadar.
Jem'Hadar. That's right.
And together they
eventually
were
they allied with the Breen. That's right.
And the
Horta, founders. That's what we were looking for. Yeah.
The Horta had been genetically engineered from a simpler creature, but they found that it could clone a lot. So they, put them through the CRISPR a few times, gave them a couple vaccines that were mandated, wore masks for a while, and pretty much about the 10th clone they had Horta.
The Vorta.
You know what CRISPR is?
The
isn't it, don't
founders
you?
are wise. The guy who plays Wei Yun of the Vorta also played Shran on Enterprise, who was an Andorian. And we like Shran.
You know, they never showed the Borg against the Dominion because I think they could have, or against like the replicators from
Stargate.
That'd have been cool.
Yeah,
But-
I didn't like the replicators too
But
much.
I think the Borg would have taken the Dominion and they would have just manufactured white. They would have, I don't know, I think they really could have easily dominated them.
We are Carry On. We're talking another language. It's Star Trek language.
I was mad.
We'll make you guys Star Trek fans yet.
I was mad that in Voyager they helped the Borg beat Species 8472 because when one ship beat 11 Borg cubes on its own, it was the size of a Star Trek shuttle. I was like, sweet, somebody's finally gonna, rectify. But then they helped him, and it was over.
Brunt,
I was depressed.
yeah. Oh, you're right. He did play Brunt.
Yeah, he
The
played Brunt.
Ferengi. Yeah.
He played. I think he's one of the only people to ever play 4 characters in one show.
He also played. Remember on Voyager when Seven of Nine was kidnapped to be a fighter in a ring? The person that was kind of overseeing all that was also the same actor.
That was also Combs.
Jeremy Combs. Right?
And his family is from an area that's named Combs from that family name about 50 miles from us. It's really funny to think that he has family that's here. That's all. I don't know anything else. You look for me to know more than that.
So anyway,
I haven't slept yet.
We streamed Next Generation together first, and then Deep Space Nine,
Then Voyager.
then Enterprise.
We did.
And then we kept watching them over and over because we watched this one channel that's called HNI, Heroes and Icons. And 6 days a week, they play all 5 Star Treks, the original series, then Next Gen, then Deep Space Nine, then Voyager, then Enterprise.
Yeah, they start on Sunday, and they go to Sunday to Friday. And they start with the original and they go all the way to Enterprise.
Quark was awesome. Ben Bacon Bits.
Was.
Oh man, he was his own dude, wasn't he? Zelda Z, hey, good to see you. And Morg, let me think about that. Who was Morg?
Do they possibly mean Morn?
I don't know.
Was that was Quark's, guy that sat at the end of the bar all the time.
Oh,
he
yeah.
Was Morn. Was he a Gorn? Supposedly,
no, he wasn't a Gorn.
He was something like that.
Huh.
At that time, they had peace with him. I'm not for sure, but something like that. But he ended up having a bunch of latinum in his stomach that wasn't gold pressed. He was hiding it. He had 2 stomachs, remember? And it was kind of interesting that he. Anyway.
And Rom is one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, Rom was good.
I love Rom.
And Nog is
Borg Queen. Yeah, there's been a few different ones.
I don't know how many are passed away, but I believe Nog is passed on.
That's
22, 21, 22.
I don't know, but I think he's been gone longer than that, though.
It's kind of like one of my favorite characters on.
I know exactly who you're talking about, Matrix, but I don't remember his name. So it's Morg.
Morg. Well, I remember Morn, or wasn't that his name?
No, he was the Norm from Cheers. Yeah.
Yes, he was.
Definitely.
And he never said anything. He didn't speak at all. He didn't have a single word.
So Matrix Rabbit says
Gorn.
that's Morg. Morg.
Are you sure? Well,
he seems very, very sure.
Well,
so I'm going to go with that. Morg it is.
I thought it was Morn, but he never spoke. He was the
No,
most prominent
not
character
one word
that
ever.
never
I kept
spoke.
hoping that they would toward the end they would at least let him say one word or something, but nope, never ever.
I was hoping he'd sound like
Lurian. Shell says he's a Lurian.
a Lurian. Well, I was hoping he would sound like Snuffleupagus.
8472 was misunderstood, I guess.
Well,
I don't know.
It was the
Ben,
Borg's fault.
I think you're trying to yank my chain.
No, they kind of were misunderstood because the Borg had baited them and tried to do something to invade into their part of space. Always looking for a leverage to, I think they wanted to produce some sort of entanglement method of travel where they can instantly be anywhere, kind of like what Discovery came up with, and be able to assimilate all these species anywhere, any when. I mean, I was thinking about, it's glad we're not messing with, you could do it if you could quantum entangle in your transporter, you could transport back to any when and destroy your enemy before they ever were, which would make you the enemy of everyone.
So we have a duke out between Shell and Matrix Rabbit. Shell says it's Morn. Matrix Rabbit says it's Morg. And I don't know. I can't remember the name. So
I really wish now it was Corn. That's what I'm really wishing. Or that he had a brother and he called him Corn, because that would have totally ripped. And then maybe they could have listened to Weezer and they could have played at, what was the name of Quark's bar?
Quarks.
They could have played at Quarks. It'd been awesome. And maybe they could have had Arnold from Happy Days introduced here for a couple shows. And Weezer would have been so old, they would have all been in Captain Pike, Doctor Who. What was it? What were the Doctor Who enemies that?
Oh, come on. The Daleks.
Daleks, because they kind of borrowed from Captain Pike. They had, or Pike got borrowed from the Daleks, because I think they existed first, actually.
Okay.
It might have been in the early mid-'60s when the Daleks showed up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
For sure.
But Weezer would all be in those because they'd be old, and then they could be maybe Futurama heads in a jar and play it. I don't know, Carol.
Zelda Z, Steve just likes to wear the tiara, and he rocks it well. You got to admit, he looks damn good in a tiara.
As long as I don't break it, I feel pretty cool. It's had a couple of replacement stones.
And Matrix Rabbit says that they're making a Section 31 series. I've been hearing that rumor.
That would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll put this up now. I got my dose completed. Still awake.
Shell still insists it's Morn, which makes real sense because, you think of the regular at Cheers being Norm.
I want it to be Corn, though, and I know it can't be, but
Arnold wasn't Mr. Miyagi. I don't know what that means.
Yes, he was not Mr. Miyagi. Was the original. Arnold's was ran by Mr. Miyagi at first.
Okay.
And then Arnold came in like the second season.
Okay.
And who knows where the name or anything originally came from or what it was. I can't remember that far back. I can remember that Mork showed up in Happy Days about the second to the last season.
Mork from Ork.
They should have had a representative in the Federation. The fact that they didn't get one yet is really pretty sad. Don't you think?
Maybe so. They
could be flying around their little egg things. But then there's so many avenues they've never explored. What if I'm trying to think of their names. I want to say is it the Tresians, the people that are like 400 degrees? That's their body temperature.
I don't know.
They're the ones that drew the little grate thing in TOS and the Enterprise couldn't go through it.
Oh.
They're called
yeah.
I can't think of their name. It would be interesting if, through some treaty, they would like make a biosphere stable for their body type on Venus, which has got a 900 degree Fahrenheit surface temperature. But I think they were called I want to say Trestians. I'm terrible on my memory of anything until I rewatch it or Google it.
Tholians.
That's really cool because that's how I'd have to Google 5 different shows before I finally came up with a show with the Tholians in it, and then I would say those the Tholians are. I'm just slow like that. It would be really interesting to see an episode where they had a biosphere, like maybe a city or an encampment on Venus, where because of its environment, it's not good for anyone else, but they could have an outpost there that was habitable, that was within their style.
Yeah.
But I think even it's uninviting to them. They're not that hot. They're like 400 degrees, 900 degrees Fahrenheit is warm.
Yeah, I would say
But you
so.
could live in the upper atmosphere in a balloon if you had a fuel cell that was powered like from the atmosphere of Venus itself, using like a variable capacitor. The plates were separated by air, and then the air of Venus would go through, and being the sulfuric acid or the hydrochloric acid that's in it, it would have a dielectric constant, and by moving the distance between the plates, you could vary the charge and generate power just by floating and breathing the atmosphere of Venus itself. As long as you could keep yourself at a high enough altitude, you could generate your own power. The fuel cell, as long as you had a catalyst to keep the surface from eating away or mineralizing, maybe you'd have to replace the surface constantly. But it's a way for a fuel cell to power itself by breathing the atmosphere of Venus. And I totally think that's possible.
I totally remember Land of the Lost, Misha. In fact, the Slee Stack are like my favorite things.
They should totally have the Slee Stacks in Star Trek.
They should.
And you know who else? Not the blonde sister. Who is her good buddy?
Oh, yeah. What was his name?
Somebody's going to tell us. Oh, man, what was his name? He was the native that was their buddy.
I love me the Slee Stacks. When I was a kid, I'd be like, they were supposed to be all scary and everything. And of course, Land of the Lost was a new show. It wasn't.
Did somebody tell us his name?
It wasn't syndicated or reruns when I was a kid. Chaka.
Yeah. He would be so cool.
Yeah. And so the Slee Stacks would come on, and I'd be like, oh, aren't they so cute? They were supposed to be all scary.
They weren't very fast.
No.
Chaka, though, would be so good. I don't know.
Oh, man. I haven't seen the movie because I just was too big of a fan of the show.
Oh, the movie was terrible.
Yeah, I heard that. That's another reason
funny.
why I didn't see it.
I mean,
hey, Shannon Smith. So yeah,
I'm sleepy.
So yeah, we're on season 2 of Discovery, and that's when they introduce Christopher Pike and the new sexy Spock, who is Sublime.
Right. And did you announce that you're working?
I am working, you guys. I'm working 4 days a week, sometimes more if I decide to take on another shift. And it's really good. Today's my day off. I told him that I wanted today off, and not a problem. A-O. I don't know what that is, Misha.
Hey,
Krista Melinda.
Let's go. It's the Ramones.
Oh.
And the Ramones should be on Star Trek.
A-O. It's got my brain confused. Oh, is that the show on Netflix about the girl who was held captive and she had these abilities?
Maybe.
Do I have that right, Zelda?
And she was blind?
No, she could see.
Oh.
She was held captive by the guy who played Lorca on Discovery.
I think so. Did she save a wretch like me?
Well,
she was blind.
They were in these cages.
My analogy went way too ridiculous.
When they were being held captive, they were in these cages. It's good to see you, Krista Melinda.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good show.
It was a good show. Neat concept.
Yeah,
You had to really stay with it and pay and zone in and not zone out. Because
you know who's getting a show?
who?
The Orville. They are in 2025.
Yes! I love the Orville.
She's excited. It is a good show, though. They really did a good job of being Star Trek without being Star Trek. You know?
Yes, definitely.
They
That's
did.
so good.
Mhm.
I'm so happy. That makes me happy, y'all.
I mean, not as good as Galaxy Quest.
Oh, hey, that's right.
They should have immediately filmed Galaxy Quest 2. I bet they're really hurting themselves in some ways that they didn't. I mean,
yeah,
it would have been instant. They should have like created a village just like they did down in New Zealand where they filmed all the Hobbitses. They should have just made a bunch of shows right away because, man, they would have taken off.
Yeah.
I mean, Will Ferrell would have probably been in the third or fourth one and it would have just been too weird. But Monk himself could have been in an episode by the time they were done. And they could have, you know, I'm just kidding, but I wish that would have happened too. They didn't explore those baby with the mean teeth creatures very well either. They totally could have found a use for them. Fighting those one guys. They could have just like beamed in a bunch of those guys for the meanies. I mean, wouldn't matter if you're like a octopus person trying to walk in an atmosphere. You've got those little mean kids with the teeth, man. Totally have recruited them and given them some rock people for payment. Like, here's your rock guys. You know, I don't know. Just an idea. But it'd totally been worth it.
The Hobbitses.
The Hobbitses, yes.
I want to retire there someday, where they made the Hobbit town. Hobbiton. Yeah.
You know it. They could have filmed The Hobbit here.
I just gave her the name. Oh, come on, Matrix. That was how many conversations ago? What am I missing?
What happened?
Carol was talking about it. I just gave her the name. AO. I think I said that, didn't I? OA. I mean, yeah, the OA.
Yeah, that was good.
That?
I don't know who said it, but I watched that show. It was that blonde chick, and I thought she was blind. See, yeah, I think what you don't be remembering it right because she were. And wasn't she the one that was kidnapped, and it was the doctor doing those special things.
The guy who played Lorca on Discovery was the guy who kidnapped her in that show.
Are you sure she could see?
Captain Lorca.
I thought she was blind.
Nope.
You're not remembering it.
Somebody back me up here.
She was blind.
Mr. Malfoy in the Harry Potter movies. Okay. I would call the basement at the shelter hobbit hole. Oh, man.
It's too much.
A hobbit hole. I want a hobbit hole. Right on.
I do too.
That would be cool.
Of course, in some old houses, I do.
Okay, I've never looked. I just looked it up. I've never seen it. It's an interesting concept.
She's blind.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Nope.
Blind. And now I see.
That's great, Mark. We already call our village the Shire and the family. Our Shire. Yes. She was blind in the beginning, then died and got her sight back.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, as a little kid. That's right.
Oh.
Hey, Warren.
Didn't she have a sister that died too?
I don't know.
In the show.
Formerly blind. Yes.
I can't remember.
But anyway, how's everybody doing? So yeah, we can go on and on about Star Trek for quite a while and really get into the weeds and go down all kinds of rabbit holes.
We're miles into the weeds right now, Carol.
That's true.
Oh.
I want a hobbit house with a round door and round fireplace. Yes.
You know it.
Yeah, those houses that they made in the movies were just tree houses and yeah, the Shire was a neat thing.
It really was.
Dee Snider.
Dee Snider? Doesn't he live around here?
I don't know.
Not
Does
the
he?
same. Not the same one.
Twisted Sister, right? Is that what we're talking about? Dee Snider of Twisted Sister.
Hey, is that the one that does the plastic surgeries?
Oh, you're thinking of
Quiet
the
Riot.
brother to the lead singer of Quiet Riot, who is no longer with us, but the brother, the plastic surgeon, is still with us. And they look just alike, except for one had brown curly hair and the other has blonde hair. Hey, I just wanted to let you know there is something in the works. Here is a hint. Okay, I can't click on the
I have no
links
idea.
from Restream here, but it looks like Cosmic's doing something.
She's doing a Star Trek episode. She's going to do a Star Trek group. I'm sorry, y'all. I haven't slept since 6 o'clock, 5:30 yesterday.
Oh man, I'm gonna leave that there, Matrix Rabbit.
What is it? Tell me.
Have you ever seen with Tipper Gore in Congress the footage?
Oh,
He just had his teeth filed down onto fangs.
oh. I haven't seen that, but that's probably good.
It's a luscious green swampy area with farms and brick houses and clear skies. Total Shire. That sounds amazing, Montgomery Dr. Go. Sure does. Oh wow, chocolate covered almonds fit up my nose perfectly. That's Ben.
Aha. I never tried that on purpose, but maybe once or twice. Jordan almond or two.
Plant Freak is in her apartment. Got keys 2 weeks ago and here for the full time this past Monday and fully set up as of yesterday.
That's pretty good.
That's
Boxes
amazing.
unpacked. I'm sure they are.
I keep forgetting to tell you I love your handle and I always wonder how many cats you have. Oh, Shell. Yeah, and come to think of it, I am curious about that myself. Hello, Crystal. How are you? So you're not back to work?
We have 2 cats, by the way.
Yeah, we do. One named Rigby and one named Kay.
And I had to shoot a groundhog. That was sad.
I know it, but we think he was attacking our cats. And
He was.
chickens.
He got an opportunity to eat some young chickens that were easy to get, and it's a strange behavior for him.
It's not the norm, no.
And he grabbed the tail of a chicken who, through escaping, like pulled half her feathers out, and nothing else predator-wise would have let a chicken live through that.
Yeah.
So it had to be the groundhog who just didn't have any other kind of predator ways. So
We don't know that to be the case, but anyway.
we're pretty sure because our cat had an injury on her tail. It was like a bite mark all the way around the tail that only could have been caused by a groundhog trying to hold on, because they don't have really a vicious bite. They just are opportunist. And
yeah, but it was really lurking around the barn. I saw it that one day.
Yeah,
and,
several times. And that
yeah, you don't go after my babies.
Yeah.
And live.
No.
Not around here.
He got plenty of chances to choose to do other things.
That's right.
I mean, we didn't go looking for him. He was at the barn. He was in the barn.
Yeah.
Our dog's got a raccoon in the barn one time too. It's a very sad story, but it was not a safe place for the raccoon.
No, the dogs got hold of the raccoon. It was brutal. It was not pretty.
Raccoons are really tough, but they're not that tough.
They're not tough enough to withstand 2 Pyrenees Anatolian.
No.
Mm-mm.
And it wasn't a full grown. It would have been a meaner fight. It would have been full grown, but
Pyretolian.
It was the Pyretolians, yeah.
That's what our dogs are. They're part.
One of them is intelligent.
Yeah.
The other one is just along for the ride.
Can't have a vicious groundhog. They cause problems with horses. Their holes can be dangerous. That's true.
Yeah, they can be. And
yeah.
So we don't have anything but a shotgun or some CO2 pistols and an air rifle. So I shot it with an air rifle, and it was one shot and it was gone.
It didn't feel good to have to do that, but
not really. And then if anyone was a deer hunter, we have deer every day on our property.
But you know what? Since I did that, I've not seen any new injuries other than Rigby, whatever that happened to him.
Yeah, and
there haven't been
could have
any
been
more
a snake.
Chickens. Yeah,
that got him, or something bit him, grabbed him right here.
Yeah, poor baby. My Anatolian was just so dumb, but such a good, sweet dog. Yes,
that's ours.
That's ours.
He is so dumb. The Pyrenees are a lot smarter.
That's Petey.
Our old Pyrenees that lived 18, she was the smartest.
Smart, and just emotionally intelligent. Just a very good and unique, sweet dog.
She lived on the porch until she knew her time was coming. In the last 5 or 6 months, she lived in the barn. She just stayed in the barn so she had company.
Yeah, and warmth.
Everything.
Yeah.
But she was smart.
She was my brother's dog. We
inherited her when he abandoned her.
Yeah.
She let out a sigh of relief, changing from 400 acres to 10 acres. She could see everything in one look, and she just kind of laid down and sighed. It was like retirement. It really was.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because she went down from 400 acres to 10. She breathed such a sigh of relief that first night when she got over the anxiousness of being in the car, and I slept in my little Baja, the pickup bed of the Subaru
in the barn,
and had her on a little halter and just kind of wrapped my hand around it so I could fall asleep, and if she moved I could feel her yanking on me. And she didn't try to escape or run away, because that was our big fear, is that she would try to run away and find the farm where she was before. Mm-hmm. But my whole goal with moving out to that farm that last month before it sold was for her to adopt us. And if she adopted us, the idea is that she would stay with us, rather than, because anybody who tried to adopt her could never get her to stay. She would just run away and go back to the old farm.
Yeah.
But so she did. She adopted us.
We're 50 miles away. That helps.
Yeah.
But she did. She learned our house.
She learned everything. Pure Pyrenees.
In the first day.
Yeah.
She found her space on the porch, and that was where she lived. We ended up putting the doghouse right aside the porch until she couldn't navigate the steps when she got too old for that.
Yeah. So, she woke up a couple of times and kind of was a little bit restless. And I just said to her at one point, "I'm so proud of you." And I swear to you, she understood.
Yeah, she was sharp.
She did. And then she decided she wanted to kind of take a walk out of the barn and check it out. So I kept her on the leash, on the halter, and went with her. And I said, "This is all yours, baby. This is all yours, Sugar." That was her name, Sugar.
Yeah, she was
and
good.
She understood, and she's like, "Oh."
She didn't like the doggy door. We put a doggy door in our storeroom. You couldn't get her to go. And then it stormed one night, and she'd been in the place with us. She learned that doggy door. After that, no problems with the doggy door. No anxiety whatsoever after that.
Yeah.
Because she didn't like thunder. She thought a doggy door was a lot less thunder. Thunder and fireworks were not her buddy.
No, they weren't. He's like 15.
Guns didn't bother her nuts, though, because when she saw a gun, she knew what was coming.
Yeah.
She didn't have any surprises.
Yeah. She didn't like it, though. She'd still kind of, once she assessed and saw that the threat was neutralized, she would go hide in the barn.
We're not target practice kind of people.
No.
If we had a gun out, we were shooting once or twice. It's what we had to.
Yeah. I've shot just to keep coyotes at bay, just shot into the air.
We shot a snake that was eating baby chickens. That's the one snake we shot. And I killed a copperhead a few weeks ago with a rock.
Mm-hmm.
They don't do good in 2 pieces. I didn't have anything else.
Good to see you, Matrix. Have a good dinner. Well, I think we've about covered all things Star Trek for today.
I've lived long and prosperer. That's all I can say. I'm still having to live till 10 o'clock.
Right on.
When I get back from practicing.
Yeah.
We have to water animals, then I go practice. Maybe I can get Carol to start sharing some of our good practices online when we.
Maybe so.
We play online. I sometimes post it on my profile on Facebook. But we're going to be rusty tonight since we haven't practiced in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Try to relearn how to play again.
Well, you guys, thank you so much for joining us. This has been fun. Yay.
Yay. I do bring some flair. Well, I make other people look good, and that's the important.
A schedule for meetings for Long and Prosper
I'm like
yet, but as soon as I figure one out, if I'm able to figure one out, you guys will be the first to know. And anyway, I hope we can see you again. We'll do this again.
And I'll be the last to know. Probably will not be on topic. As best as I can. I'll try to.
I've missed you too, Sean. I've missed all of you guys. Thank you so much for coming and visiting with us. It's been a lot of fun. We had a Jack Russell that got scared of thunder and a Bernese mountain dog.
Yeah.
Love them. Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. They're good dogs.
Yeah. Yay. Still, I hope that you get something worked out.
Me too.
Anyway, thank you guys again. And yes, see you soon, Zelda. See you guys soon. And until then,
pardon my yawn.
Peace, y'all.
No, it's live long and prosper.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Live long and prosper.
I can't do it very good. My arthritis. Are you clicked?
I'm trying.
You're clacked. Click and clack. Do you remember that from NPR?
Yes.
That was a good show.
Okay, you can bring up there it is. Anytime now. Here we go.